YouTube and hello subscribers. Kisses to all of you. I hope that you're having a wonderful, wonderful Saturday. I am. Miss Little Bit is doing so much better. She went to school on Friday. I took her out today. The weather changed up on us. It got really weird. We got home quickly. I made a real good decision because she had a little cough. And I came home and rubbed her down a little bit, but we didn't even get out the car. And she's doing so much better. Thank you guys so, so much. And let's see what else is going on. I'll post a picture of her. She's growing up. OMG. Oh, she is. I look at her now and I'm staring at her like, oh my God, you are not that baby. And she calls herself baby. It's so cute. I see Kira. She says baby. I like when she says it. Keeps her innocence to me. It really does. She's 3 and I'm loving it. I'm loving that. Just allowing her to be a child. She is going through early development. Whatever. I said, oh my God. Anyway. I did go off. I just start rattling. I'm sending well wishes to Popcorn Planet Andy. Got something going on with his eye. So I am wishing him well. I am. What else is going on? Okay, yeah. Meghan is going to New York City. And it's such a big deal because it's after the New York car chase. And then some type of charity that's going on. I don't know. I didn't hear any names that was interesting to me. I don't know what this program, I don't know what it's about. I don't know why she's going to New York. I don't know why she's a part of it. I don't understand it. All I know is that it has something to do with mental health. And what is interesting to me is that she's considered herself a victim of mental health. So what is she going to, I heard that she's going to be talking. That was interesting to me. Because what is she going to talk about? The time she was over there and she felt suicidal? I just wonder. Because, to me, we're still talking about the same thing. We're still talking about the same stuff. Nothing's changed. Meghan hasn't done anything. She hasn't done anything that is to me worth talking about. In a sense, she's not that interesting anymore. She's fading in the distance. I noticed it this week. And maybe because they got rid of Dan Wooden. And I'm saying they didn't get rid of him. He's suspended. But regardless, he's not here. And I enjoyed his segment. I dug up one from Talk TV that was really good that I'm going to do a deep dive in. But it's more controversial to me. So I just think that there are some Sussex squads on here that support her and that they can do no wrong. And I guess I'm the opposite because they can't do anything right. And I don't know. This isn't news to me that this isn't like, oh my God, Meghan's going to New York and she's going to do this for charity and she's going to, talk about mental health. I'm telling you, I don't, first of all, Kevin Costner's, I've never known him to have that until Meghan decided to come on the scene, and then the first responders. I never knew. And then Meghan came on the scene and made it about her, and all of a sudden I know about Kevin Costner's event every year that him and his rich friends get together and raise money for. And then they award each other. And then Meghan wanted to be on the stage with that, so that was great. And I don't know what WM. I already said from the beginning that they were fired. WME is fired. They're not doing their job. They're not doing what they're supposed to do, and they can't because Meghan won't let them because she's telling them what to do. She is. But I don't see what the big deal is that Meghan's going back to New York City. So what? Oh, Meghan's going back to New York City after the New York City car chase. So this is just stuff I'm hearing. I don't care. What is she doing there? Another publicity stunt, another charity event, another on the stage. She's doing nothing and handing out stuff like she's, first of all, giving. Meghan's not giving. Meghan's a taker. So it just, what? Another Invictus moment, another Kevin Costner moment. That's what everybody's talking about. Like they're not talking about it over here. They're not. And then when they do talk about Meghan and Harry, it's on entertainment TV. It ain't serious news. I say serious news. Every news is serious. What I'm saying is that Meghan is not famous like her in-laws, like William and Catherine. This is true, that they won't get what they're wanting to get in New York City. They're not going to get people lining up and trying to see who they are and greet them and say, oh, Meghan's coming to town. Let's stand outside and watch her. No. Why? She's in the United States. There's no mystery about her anymore. She's here. She's in LA. She's in Montecito. She's in Malibu. There's no mystery to that anymore. Like there is with the royal family. There's mystery around that. There's mystery around the king coming to New York. And everybody wants to see him. People were lined up in the streets to give him his respect. And Meghan wants that, but people lost respect for her a long time ago. The Oprah Show. You know, something about a memoir. Half of it I'm not going to believe, and the other half is just going to be fluffy. Because on one half, Meghan is going to talk about how she triumphed against, this real difficult life she had. And then she's going to talk about the royal family because that's an element of it. In some kind of way, she's going to be the victim again. Yeah, nobody gets the memo over there, Meghan Land. And then, okay, I'm digressing. I'm moving on. Let's talk about how people are trying to say that Meghan is trying to do the same thing Catherine and them are doing by bringing awareness to mental health. Because they were the ones that was running around talking about they were wounded. And everybody was messing with them. And they had it so bad that they had to run for their lives. And Tyler Perry had to save them from the enemies. Or was it that Meghan just wanted to get over here and start these shenanigans? She's a star. She's the Duchess of Sussex. She's the senator. She's the president. Oh, my goodness. Meghan is maybe she believes, I switched it again. Maybe Meghan believes the Sussex squad. Maybe Meghan actually believed that she is a real god. That's how they treat her over there. Like she can't do anything wrong. Like she is, perfect. Even your admirer is not perfect. Even the people that you look up to are not perfect. And they would tell you, listen, hey, I got some flaws. But no, Meghan's perfect. Everything's perfect and . And so I wouldn't be surprised if Meghan started going in on her father, saying how she's a victim of that and how, she never expected her father to destroy her. No, you destroyed yourself. But she blames her father and everybody else that his little head. Hey, you. Yeah, of course they do. We made a list of blaming, and I'm yet to go through that list. Ugh, sucks because I wanted to. Well, hey, listen, let's do this deep dive really quick, guys. That's my intro about Meghan's new moment in the spotlight, moment in her time. If I ask my sister, hey, did you know Meghan was going to New York? What? Who? It's not talked about over here. It's not in the news. It's not. If it was in People magazine, I missed it. Meghan is not popular like that over there. Over here, she hasn't been popular like that in a long time. And the only time she's mentioned is when it's a scandal. Yeah. She's moving about Malibu. When? She's still looking? No. Let's listen to what they're saying. Let's move on from what I'm saying.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, it's been announced the couple are set to return to New York for the first time since their, quote, near catastrophic car chase. In May, they were in the city to attend the Foundation of Women of Vision Awards with Meghan's mother, Doria Ragland. Afterwards, they claimed their car was chased by paparazzi, and for 2 hours, they were forced to change vehicles and try and evade them. The Sussexes will return to the Big Apple on the 10th of October and will host the Archwell Foundation Parents Summit, focusing on mental health. It'll be the Foundation's first in-person event aimed at helping families navigate online dangers. Let's hope this visit is perhaps a little less dramatic. And I suppose, look, here's the thing. You have two people who, on one hand, one of them was thrust into fame by virtue of birth, and the other one through acting, and then through marrying became one of the most famous couples in the world. Whether you like them, whether you don't, the fact that they are chased or hounded in a way, I think, is disgraceful. That people think that that's acceptable, even though, of course, they require that level of publicity in order to be able to do what they do. I mean,
he ain't making no sense. Hounding them? If you put yourself out there to be hound, then you want it. Right? You put yourself out there. Obviously, she wanted someone to know she was going to New York City, such as herself, so you can talk about it. We can't have our own opinion about her going. Some think she's just going because she's trying to outshine William's moments. She can't. I just don't think that's a topic. I don't. Because she can't. It just can't happen. She can't outshine anyone. She's not like the star of the show. Like, oh, let's get there. She's there. Really? I'm on the wrong channel then. I didn't see that. No. To me, when her hand is on things that, like mental health and stuff like that, she don't know what that means to me. She doesn't. She's had it really hard. She has. Her and Harry. They've had this big rough now. I like when Ice Cube said, what do you think about Meghan and Harry? And he said you can do more in the house than you can do out the house. In other words, her going on the Oprah show whining about it, that's not a solution. Telling the world about it, so what? She wanted people to have a public opinion about her conversation with Oprah. And so now, gentlemen like this one is telling us, no, you can't have those conversations because if you are, that means you're coming after her. The hell it means that. No, it means that some of us have an opinion about the whole situation. And since it's made public, how come we can't have an opinion about it? But she can. She thought it was okay to She thought it was okay and a great idea to talk about the very people that made her famous. That blows my mind. I will never get over that. Like my I know I brought this up before. Like my mom said, you'll never be able to comprehend that, baby. Ever. Because I would still be grateful and honored for it, especially if I wanted to be it so bad. It wasn't about marrying the prince and falling in love with the prince and falling in love with the whole fairy tale of being in love with the prince. No, it was about her the whole time. It was about her. It was about her and what she was going to do and how she was going to manipulate her way through this. And she did. And so it's hard not to see the manipulation. And then the continued push for showing us that she's this humanitarian. Listen, the verdict has been out. Love starts at home, honey. I mean, I would have at least sent him a picture in the mail and said, here, Daddy, here's a picture of your kid, your grandkids. I am still upset with you and da. And you know what? Whatever the reason, but here's a picture. Or here's an audio. She sent one to Charles. At least that's what she lied and said she did. That to me is a story. She treats one father-in-law. Well, wasn't they racist over there? Your father, remember she was comparing her being treated with racism to Katie statement. Like that was worse, comparing the two. That within itself made me sick to my stomach. But before I get to that, that's what she does, compares things. So Meghan, wouldn't the racism be worse than your father staging his own pictures for the paparazzi? He's just your dad, for goodness sake. You don't tell him what to do. He did that on his own. And the thing that he did, he apologized for. But he has been crucified, killed off, and it's over. But no, she won't reach out to that father, but she will reach out to Harry's father because it's something in it for her. A title for the kids. That's their birthright. Harry lost his father in this process. You know what she sound like? That woman on The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. One of them. Yes, he lost everything in the fire. I can't think of a show, but she sounds like one of them dictator wives. Oh no, all that. Yeah, then you leave out the house, it's all hell breaking loose. He in a wheelchair. He taped to the seat because I'm making this up. But what I'm saying is that's her. Forgot where I was going. I really took it there. But no, what I was saying to this gentleman is stop making excuses. Stop acting like you're the only one that can have an opinion, whether it's good or bad. And then he's going to say, I'm not saying that I like her or not. Why you got to say that at all? I've said it before too, so I got to be careful. But because you don't know one way or another if you do or not. But this gentleman is just trying to play neutral so people won't ask him questions and say, what is you talking about? To me, it just I'm done with that piece. It just reminds me of the bully comment. Like, we be careful because we could be out here bullying people, you know. Oh, okay. At what level does that say it? Because I said I don't believe Meghan or that she's lying. That she tricked Harry into all of this, and she went on the Oprah show and lied and all those other things, and she's going to go to New York and start lying again. Whatever she's doing over there, I don't care. I honestly was not going to do a video at all. I told my husband, I said, I don't care. What does her got to going to New York for mental health, lying to people again and pretending like she is any of that stuff? I don't believe nothing she says, nothing she does, nothing she do, and I don't believe in any of it, because if you can go over there and try to mistreat some kids, 7-year-olds, into making them not, you can't say anything bad about me. Girl. And then the whole setup. But then all of a sudden, she goes to this new thing and she's supposed to be better. Someone said that they're trying to push this to get rid of her current bad publicity. You can't get rid of that. It's always going to be there. Meghan doing something. Next week, it'll be something else. Let me tell you something. I just did a video on Samantha. That one, to me, I listened to it, and I need to start listening to myself days later, because I'm like, okay, I don't like this video, and I'll delete it. But I'm like, wow, this is interesting. I was really, and I know when I start getting emotional or I start getting feeling it or whatever, and I'm like, yes. And now we're talking about Samantha. And that's my point. Next week, it'll be something else. But this week, it's all about her going to New York, making a fool out of herself. And like channels and people are saying, and Bethany, oh my God, you should hear Bethany. She said someone over there in Oprah's camp was calling her, telling her to take down her post. She was getting threats and all this other stuff. Then her deals start drying up. They ain't no more. She gave Meghan some advice, and she said, Meghan, why don't you just go somewhere for a while, be quiet, and then come back out? And there's nothing wrong with that, because people forget and they move on, and they will forgive you from the racism and the lying and the trashing and the everything that you do. Give people a moment to stop swallowing you. And because this is what's going to happen. People are just going to get tuned off, turned completely off, like myself. Just like, I'm done. And someone keeps saying, well, she's getting older. That has nothing to do with nothing. Catherine and Elizabeth, and even the current queen, Queen Camilla, they'll never get old. We're always fascinated and intrigued and want to know. I'm always at Sue Smith's house. It's so interesting to know. I love that she gives you that much of it. And then you get to hear about Catherine in a wheelchair with the other kids and being a part of it. Instead of Meghan sitting there like she's a princess and entitled, Catherine got in the chair, got down on her knees, and got with the kids. Something that Meghan will never be able to relate. So when she goes over to New York and do this thing, because I will do a deep dive on it when she gets to chattering about it. And she come out making up stories about caring. She doesn't care at all. And so it falls flat. Bloop. What did she say? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe that she's going over there, goodness of her heart. No. Yeah, of course, everybody knows that. Everybody that knows Meghan knows that she's going over there for herself and for her own selfish reasons. And WME, you don't want a client like that. You want a client that is actually wants to do something for charity instead of doing it for themselves. Right? Or is it all about them? Oh my, maybe she needs to go do some community service. Why don't she go do that? No. Let me tell you something. Catherine has been to the jail. She's been frisked. The dog's been making sure she ain't got no guns and stuff. I mean, like, she gets dirty with it. And then you're trying to figure out, well, what is Catherine doing at the jail and do, whatever, paying a visit to the inmates, letting them know that you guys are people too. Not Meghan. How dare she goes over there? She would never do anything like that. No. First of all, it's got to be on center stage and it's got to be all about her. Because for some reason, I feel like this trip on Tuesday, we're going to see some pictures, some videos, we're going to see something. We're going to see her I don't want to call Harry her watchdog. I don't want to start calling him that. But that's what he's becoming. He's her watchdog. He's there to watch out and make sure no one messes with Meghan, that he defends her, that she's his queen, and he's going to prove her to the day he dies that this is his woman and leave her alone. Okay, a little bit of something about he's buying up press because he wants good press. I didn't know you could take over that. I didn't know that you could get on every outlet and start pushing out BS, and he could buy. So it's not news to me. It's not. So my opinion about him buying up the press and all this other stuff, until he shuts us up and we can't talk no more, then I will continue to defend it, though, that he has no right. I did a video on it. Let's get back to the video. I know I went on and on and on. Sometimes I do that. But anyway, this gentleman thinks that, we don't need to criticize her about everything.
Part of the reason that they're going to New York, part of the reason that they host an event, part of the reason that they invite all the media to this stuff is because they want that coverage, and they have to have that level of following and coverage to make the money.
What do you think the double standard is here? Because when we spoke about Holly Willoughby earlier, she's a celebrity. She needs to attend events. She needs to be famous to do her job. That's why she's hired by This Morning. Same.
That's that stupid stuff. Meghan is not a celebrity. When did she become a celebrity? So yeah, I was going to delete this video because I can't edit it. And there's some stuff I didn't want to say, but I said. So if I said something that you didn't agree with, that's what I didn't mean to say, okay? So, because I am not deleting this. Check this out. What did he say? He said she's a celebrity. Meghan is not a celebrity. She is a D-list actress that became a royal. She became a royal because she married a prince. And then she acted a fool, and now she's running around with celebrities. What makes her a celebrity? Her podcast? Her Oprah show? Her Netflix show? What makes her a celebrity? Did he mean to say that? Come on, guys.
Even though, of course, they require that level of publicity in order to be able to do what they do. I mean, part of the reason that they're going to New York, part of the reason that they host an event, part of the reason that they invite all the media to this stuff is because they want that coverage, and they have to have that level of following and coverage to make the money.
What do you think the double standard is here? Because when we spoke about Holly Willoughby earlier, she's a celebrity. She needs to attend events. She needs to be famous to do her job. That's why she's hired by This Morning. Same for the Beckhams, same for the Kardashians.
Yeah,
why is it with Harry and Meghan? We put these caveats on and saying, well, they have to do it for their jobs. What's the difference between Harry and Meghan and every other celebrity?
I'm not giving the caveat because I think that they deserve the same level of respect that everybody should. Even though, of course, they require that level of publicity in order to be able to do what they do. I mean, part of the reason that they're going to New York, part of the reason that they host an event, part of the reason that they invite all the media to this stuff is because they want that coverage, and they have to have that level of following and coverage to make the money.
What do you think the double standard is here? Because when we spoke about Holly Willoughby earlier, she's a celebrity. She needs to attend events. She needs to be famous to do her job. That's why she's hired by This Morning. Same for the Beckhams, same for the Kardashians. Yeah, why is it with Harry and Meghan? We put these caveats on and saying, well, they have to do it for their jobs. What's the difference between Harry and Meghan and every other celebrity?
I'm not giving the caveat because I think that they deserve
I don't know what he's saying, so
the
let's
same
keep
level
going.
of respect that everybody should. And I'm raising the parallel. And I think you're right. It's not. I don't think that they should be chased by paparazzi in a way that is threatening to their lives or indeed their security.
I haven't seen it yet. Show me a picture where the paparazzi is chasing them and they're running for their lives. What does this conversation has to do with the one before that? And the Beckhams aren't being chased. The Kardashians aren't running for their lives and stuff like that. Nobody's running after anyone. They have their bodyguards, they have their security, and then they have the paparazzi. When did the paparazzi become the bad guys?
I don't think they should be chased
Right.
parallel. And I think you're right.
And
It's not.
that's that stupid stuff because Diana was chased. That's the difference between Meghan and Harry. But see, the reason why we're talking about her being chased is because her and Harry got the narrative out there. If they can plant the seed that they were chased by paparazzi, then so many people will believe them and then be like, oh, poor Meghan and Harry. That's what I'm hearing. No, you had two people acting stupid one night on their way home from an event that Meghan was attending, and they made a spectacle out of themselves. Because no one was chased in New York City and no one was after them. They were taking pictures.
I don't think that they should be chased by paparazzi in a way that is threatening to their lives or indeed their security.
And
I
they
don't
were
think they
not.
should be chased down for these pictures.
They were not. Their security was running around acting like Meghan and Harry and her mom. Her own security was not putting out statements talking about we were running for our lives. Their security was with them the whole time. And so if I was her security, I would have been embarrassed for her putting on there that we were being chased. Meghan inflated that story like she inflated everything else that she does. So if you don't question the New York City movement, you got to question everything else that comes out of her mouth. And then to the point, I question everything, and everything I've learned, she's been lying. She lied about the New York City car chase. Now he's on here talking about that someone shouldn't be running for their lives from the paparazzi and being scared and blah, 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 blah. And none of that happened. This didn't happen to her. But she's got the narrative out there that it did. And he's speaking of it as if it happened. And so there it is. There is the birth of the lie. No, have the conversation correctly. Because if I was sitting there, I would have said, no, wait a minute. They lied about the car chase. That was not true. They wasn't being chased by paparazzi. They wasn't running for their lives. And all that stupid stuff. But here we go. Sorry for the rant.
And I don't think people should be able to make money out of that. Now, regardless of whether I like them or don't, that's nothing to do with it. I think everybody deserves a certain level of respect. And that line, and I think...
Here he go defending himself. Because he wants to make it clear that he doesn't think it's okay for Meghan and Harry to be chased. But first of all, the story isn't true. So it's hard for me to relate to what he's saying at all. And then the second thing is he wants to be clear that regardless of what side he's on, he doesn't think it's right that what happened to her. He's trying to be politically correct and make sure he doesn't accuse or say anything incorrectly because Meghan came out with the lie that she was chased. And so since she was chased and almost died, he still got that story going on. That's not the truth. And so I'm sorry, that's probably why I will probably never be a journalist. Probably no one will probably ever have me on anything ever. Because it's the truth. What are you talking about? It doesn't make sense the way he's talking to us as if that didn't happen. Come on.
Tessa, you mentioned it earlier. The line that we have between individuals and what's acceptable. I mean, the amount of stuff you must all see online.
Yeah,
I mean, you say something, but it is vile.
Yeah.
And I understand why people...
Here it is. Here it is. I'm sorry. And I get it. Before I started my channel, I said, I'm going to get beat down, cracked down, and they're going to say all kinds of things about me and nasty things about me. But I do not care. You're going to get that. No one is going to, no, you're not going to have, everybody doesn't love the Beehive. Everybody doesn't love Taylor Swift. As a matter of fact, they're getting angry at the football because they keep showing her. And my thing is that you have people that follow you, you have people that like you, you have that, but you are going to have people that don't like you, and you have to deal with that too, because people are jealous, people are, whatever the case may be, there's all kinds of reasons. But when you put these days, it's not about your feelings, it's not about having star power, Meghan or Kim Kardashian. Kim just got in trouble for ruining her sister's wedding or something like that. And Khloe Kardashian is running around upset with everybody else except for the person that she should be upset with, which is Christian Thomas, for whatever. But what I do like about her a little bit, because if you're willing to forgive the man, you should forgive the woman that did it too. You're so quick to forgive him. He's always going to be the baby of my, kids and stuff like that. And he's going to be that and da, 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 da. But it takes two. I love the love and the relationships they have when it comes to family at the end of the day. Because like she said, no matter what happens, Christian, whatever his name is, will always be the baby's dad. And she should give him whatever respect she needs to give him to make sure that relationship with their kids stay connected. I know I went off into that, but my point is that Meghan is now in that category. She is in the category of being scrutinized. For real. Because she put herself in the limelight. She decided that she wanted to come back to Hollywood. She decided that she wanted to be an A-lister. And no one is off limits. They're just not. I think in this day and age, I think it would be hard. I would want my daughter to be, if she became famous for some odd reason, I would just want her to, be okay with it. I want to give her enough confidence to understand that she's beautiful without all this, or whatever, and then get her someone to talk to her too, because you just don't know. You want to make sure, because I get what these people are saying, but when you decided that you wanted to be a global star, Catherine can tell you, they were calling her Waity Katie. So that wasn't offensive to her. And she still is not having nightmares about that. And so, just because it's Harry and Meghan, everybody, don't say nothing about them. You can say good things, but you can't say this. You can say this, but you can't say that. Let's move on.
Feel as keyboard warriors that they can do that, but somehow we need to reset.
I think we need to focus more on public discipline as opposed to these celebrities, because it's all well and good to say, actually, they need this, they caught this, that's how they make their living and all of that. But at the end of the day, nothing justifies the kind of abuse that, these people get, or the threats that are made to their lives. I mean, I remember Keir Starmer was heckled by a lady up north a few months ago.
Okay, so now she didn't just point at somebody smooth out that I don't know, whatever. But if you're going to I'm saying again, if you're going to put yourself out there, you are expect to be scrutinized. I'm sorry. They're going to get scrutinized for this segment. Look at me. I'm scrutinizing them. No, but that doesn't mean it's okay to bully. It's never okay to be bullied. It's never okay for people to threaten people. It's horrible. It's frightening. I get that. That's a total.
and it was caught on tape. I think she was very upset about a
And
policy.
see, there is a difference. And I'm not saying that Meghan is not getting hate mail and getting a lot of whatever she's getting. I'm not saying that. But listen, I don't even want to talk about that.
He was advocating.
I don't think that that's okay. I don't. No, I'm not an advocate for that. But what I'm saying is there's two different things. There is bullying and threatening and crossing the line. And then there's that criticism that is going to be out there no matter what, because you open yourself up for it.
And I just thought this woman was in his face, abusing him, pointing at him. And I thought, why should he have to deal with that just because he's a politician, right? Just because he's in a role that allows him to be, public facing basically, and to be well known. I think anyone who has any sort of notoriety should not expect to, or should not have to deal with this kind of harassment from the public. And I think it's actually down to members of the public to call out this sort of behavior, to call out the fact that mental health is a huge issue, to call out the fact that you cannot get away with doing this.
But if we go back to the conversation and what happened over the supposed car chase in the summer, that was about a momentum, a desire to get pictures of, to buy into the brand of Harry and Meghan. And I think going back to a question of why do people judge them through a different lens when it comes to other celebrities, well, they've called out press intrusion. And I think that's one of the reasons. So they've said this.
Okay, I don't know what she's saying, and I don't know how we win. Ooh. It's interesting that this car chase, I don't understand the conversation anymore. First we went to, they were lying about it. And then we went to bullying, and then we went to mental health. She started talking about mental health. And then she switched back to the car chase. So what was she saying about mental health? What does that got to do?
Not expect to, or should not have to deal with this kind of harassment from the public. And I think it's actually down to members of the public to call out this sort of behavior, to call out the fact that mental health is a huge issue, to call out the fact that you cannot get away with doing this.
But if we go back to the conversation.
I don't think that they can relate this conversation with mental health. I don't think so. What does mental health have to do with Teresa's going to bring up the car chase?
Over the supposed car chase in the summer, that was about a momentum, a desire to get pictures of, to buy into the brand of Harry and Meghan. And I think going back to a question of why do people judge them through a different lens when it comes to other celebrities, well, they've called out press intrusion. And I think that's one of the reasons. So they've said, this isn't good enough. We want to call a halt to it, at the same time as being very public with criticism of their ex-families effectively. And I think that for some that sits uncomfortably. Yeah. Actually, I think on the one hand, we have to bear in mind that the family he criticises is an institution which, incidentally, we never question how much money is spent on the security of the royal family, the state institution.
See how Teresa didn't switch that subject all the way around to make it about King Charles and how much money they spending and all this other stuff. So I'm not even going to give her the moment. I'm not going to talk about that. But I want to say she was almost trying to say that, playing devil's advocate and trying to say that Harry and Meghan, put themselves in, I don't know what she was saying. I'm going to fast forward it. You guys feel free to elaborate on what she said, okay? Because I didn't understand that. And I'm going to fast forward her about the King Charles moment. Let's see.
Almost, I would suggest that
Okay, so they totally ignored her like they should have. And so now they're talking about security. And listen to this.
Perhaps we're learning the hard way that security and normality is not something that we can afford until
the problem is as well, though, but isn't the problem as well, is that we are now a society where where so many people crave fame, and they can go about it by actually kind of, having this vast following of people
putting dumb stuff on TikTok. I mean, you can become famous for those ridiculous reasons.
Become famous for being.
She said you can become famous for ridiculous things these days. Wow. Okay, so what are they considered? Are these people considered famous, well known? And doesn't she have a following? Doesn't each one of these people up there have their own following? As if they're talking like they're not in this category of wanting to be famous, or wanting to have something to contribute, or be a part of something, or have their name, or be on this show. No, everybody, wants something, whether it's famous, finances, whether it's love, or whatever the case may be. But, I don't knock any, like my channel or any other channel or any other person that wants to do what they want to do that makes them feel good. That's what I was telling you guys the other day. Don't let people make you feel guilty for doing something that you enjoy doing. You don't criticize what they do. Come on, let's go.
Famous. And then, of course, the problem is that almost, I would suggest that the vast majority of people who do become famous, from anything from TikTok to being...
Here's the thing. If everybody's famous, nobody's famous. I'm starting to feel that. Like they're saying in TikTok and whatever. You can consider a lot of people, a lot of things, TikTok, YouTube, whatever, that are famous. And wouldn't that be great that everybody was at like some type of equal level? So people won't be thinking they're better than you just because they have more money than you, or that they got more fame than you, or they're more celebrity, they're more known than you. Isn't that what Meghan's trying to do?
To being a kind of MP who suddenly says something that everybody piles into, or comment on any sort of social thing that's going on to. The problem is now, and I know what you were saying about celebrities earlier on, but the thing is, these pylons now are actually so much bigger because they don't just, you were talking about sporting heroes on the field.
If you get
I know
caught
that,
in
but
one
now
thing,
you are.
absolutely.
It is now so much bigger, and it is like an avalanche.
We as journalists are part of the problem.
We
cannot
are.
sit here and say on one hand, these celebrities deserve privacy and deserve to be respected, and social media is toxic towards them. Then on the other hand, look at Harry and Meghan and say, well, the right-wing papers can write what they want and they can ignite this vitriol against them, and we all sit here and talk about the vitriol and then say, oh, but they're courting it. They're courting it. They need it from me. Every celebrity is the same.
But can we just, in terms of resistance, can we just honour David Beckham? 1998, his comeback from that send-off. I've been watching Beckham on Netflix, by the way. I've had to put my love of Harry and Meghan on
Have you been
hold.
watching TV's Penny Smith?
Yeah.
Taylor Swift.
Celebrity.
Quite heavily, according to all my friends.
Told you. They're not talking about Meghan and Harry that much anymore. And so, good publicity, bad publicity, her publicity is leaving. I'm serious, guys. I was not even going to do a video, and I'm questioning if I'm going to post this one. As a matter of fact, I'm going to send out a poll to see who really wants to see another video about, I don't even know what to name this one, her climbing to the top, her trying to be in the center, her trying to be noticed, her trying to let everybody know that she's this mega star and she's coming back and all this other weirdness. Okay, love you. Have a good night.